We are now live.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome
to Live Intuitive Monday Nights.
With
John and John from BQuest.
Yep.
Yes, we've been away last week. I had some sort of virus. I didn't check out if it was corona or not.
He's self-isolated.
I just self-isolated and
You're isolated within the self-isolation, bro.
Self-dosed on Manuka and vitamins and killed it in about 3 days before it killed me.
Yeah.
So, yes, that was quite interesting. I also asked my body to get rid of all viruses, which is probably a bad command at the time.
Well, it just goes to show that pure intent is stronger than you think.
Yeah, so I had a bit of a night the night before, and I thought, I had a bit of what felt like a cold sore coming up, and I asked my body to get rid of all viruses. Yes, I went through some hell the next 3 days. so hi, Sammy.
Hey, Sammy. Welcome.
I'm not sure if you're a regular or not. But yes, we'll go through the basics.
The usual spiel.
The usual spiel. You can give it a go this week.
Okay, this week I'll give the usual spiel. So it's intuitive guidance. So I'll tell you what we don't do, and then I'll tell you what we do. So what we don't do is, can I have a message? Can you pull me a card? What do you see for my love life? What do you think for my business? Where am I going? I don't know. I'm lost.
Can I have a reading?
That's what we don't do.
That's what we don't. Hi, Maggie.
What we do is we like you to tell us in your own words what's going on.
Yeah.
So dig into it. You know, if it's medical intuitive, so we do medical intuitive. So if it's a pain in the body or an ache in the body or some other condition, tell us where it is, front or back, left or right, what it feels like in your words. I have a pounding headache, or I have a knife in my neck, or a stabbing pain.
So this
how frequently, and what we're trying to do is we use that as symbology, right?
And we're trying to get our intuition to work with your intuition. The more we teach you, we'd rather teach you how to fish than give you a fish. We'd rather, the more people that learn this and work with it, and you get amazing results if you can see it and you can identify it, and you get a clearing in it. This is the stuff that changes the world. If people share this sort of thing and they get, they see the symbology, they work out what the message is, and then they work with it, and it clears.
Yeah.
They go around telling everybody.
But
don't tell everyone. Don't tell your family, guys.
Don't tell your family and friends.
You'll get the Messiah complex.
We did a reading on the weekend for Leanne, and in Leanne's words, the way she worded it was truly amazing how much it shifted her perspective.
Yeah.
Right. So it really sort of shifts your thinking, shifts the way that you look at things, in interpreting your body and what's going on around you is symbolic.
So, Hi, Kim, Amanda, Jude, Beck, anyone else we've missed? Anita.
Hello.
Annette, Shani. Hi, guys. Yeah, so you have so we'll go to Deborah Mills. Oh, love your help. I have abdominal pain that has been going on for a few months. So this is what we're just talking about, Deborah and a few others. Describe the pain.
Yeah.
Describe where it is. Is it on the left or the right? Describe what it feels like a stabbing or a twisting.
Yeah. Is it cramping?
Yeah.
Is it?
And that this will help us narrow it down, because usually, guys, most of the stuff we find has to do with the chakras. So the base chakra is red, navel chakra is orange, but the base chakra has got to do with group issues. So any issues we've got around so that relates to the hands and the feet. And any group issues we've got, so if we don't like our family or we don't like our politicians, they're a group, So even if we've got 3 sisters, they're a group. Anyone larger than 2. So if we have issues and resentments and negative emotions held up about these people, so this is why it often shows up on the left or the right. So I've worked with so many people, and the issue will be on the right, and I work on the left, and it clears the issue on the right. So where the issue is showing up is the symbolic part of it. And it can...
on the left or the right, Deborah?
Yeah.
It's come back with constant pain near the rib.
Near the ribs. So a lot of pain near the ribs. So we're looking at solar plexus issues here. So solar plexus is the 3rd chakra, the yellow chakra. So element of fire. So fire is going to help with this. Any yellow foods are going to help with this. But you've also got stomach and spleen in that area. But what it is, it's mainly... You're going to have liver's the main one. So you've got issues with yourself, how you've dealt with things. So you've got judgments on yourself, or you don't like the way you've dealt with things with people. So again, if we go left or right, we can sort of narrow that down a bit. Because guys, basically what we're doing here for you in trying to do in 5 minutes is what would normally take half an hour or 45 minutes to really get down to it. So we're really giving you a really like short taster, and some of the people can pick it up really quick. Others can't, because we've got to delve into it and really see. We have like our energy field connects out. We have these things called streamers or fucking cords or whatever you want to call them.
On the left side.
They're fucking
Female
mental sometimes. So on the left side. So you've got issues with yourself and other females about how you've dealt with it with other females. So I would say it's got to do with, because it's solar plexus, it's got to do with controlling and not being in control of yourself or your life or your spiritual life, most likely. So you're judging yourself, say, on a spiritual level for how you're dealing with the situations that are coming up around other women and stuff like that. You're not following your path and doing what you want to do the way you want to do it, and then you're compounding that by judging yourself. And so, and the left is a lot of kidney as well. So under the ribs, and the pain under there is going to be kidney meridian. So you're going to have like lots of issues of you're buying into fear. And the fear may not be yours. You may have bought into it for so long that you think it's yours. And if you actually sat down and examined it, you realize it's not your fear, it's everyone else's, especially the women and females around you. And it's always the closer women, mothers, sisters, bosses, if you've got a boss at work or things like that. So again, it's one of these ones where we'd have to talk to you a bit. And guys, you can come online as well. Anyone who wants to, we can have a chat, and then we can really have a bit of fun and delve into this. And it is kind of fun after it pisses you off. So it can be quite a fun.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that one at that at the moment, because it's something we need to really delve into a bit more.
All right, Jessica. I'm wondering why I would have a bloodshot eye lately, particularly my right eye.
So the bloodshot eye has got to do with liver again. So your right eye, it's a lot of anger there. So liver shows up in the bloodshot in the eye. So our liver and gallbladder meridian, we want to be in charge. And you want to be in charge of your life. You want to direct where your life goes. Your liver particularly plans your life. If you get liver depression, we see our long-term plans as not being able to be fulfilled. So our long-term hopes and dreams. So that can cause liver depression. I'm talking from experience here. The right eye, there's a lot of, you're putting on yourself, or your liver's putting pressure on you to take charge. And you've probably got a male in your life who's stifling that, either directly or indirectly, just because you're worried about, it could be your father or your husband or your son.
Like there's a lot of hate.
Yeah. So, and the anger builds up, and it's like, and then, the bloodshot in the eye. So you've got a lot of anger in your liver. You don't like what you're seeing. Basically, generally, eyes are symbolically have got to do with people not liking what they see. So, so we'll just leave that at that. If you add any more details, guys, if we're hitting on a note here for you, and then just drop an extra bit of detail in, say, and add a little bit more. Guys, we don't do general readings, just a recap. We're working with your intuition for any issues. If you've got, even things that piss you off, so it's one of our favorite ones. We've got a tool.
Tell us what annoys you.
Tell us what annoys you. The things that regularly annoy you.
If you got the top 3 things that piss you off, tell us number 1. Right.
Yes, we've been away, guys.
We have been away.
Moving and going through clearing of my own stuff.
Sandy from the Netherlands.
Awesome.
All right, so I'm just trying to scroll back up. So many fun comments.
Yeah.
All right, where are we? Timberils. Yep, got that one. Okay. All right. Judy. Which one? This one?
Judy, that's you.
I have a major nose block, not corona. Haha. Yeah, I hear you. Shit, where did it go? On my left side, major nose block on my left side every year. Hang on, let me try to do this. That wasn't it. Where is it?
There.
That one. Let's do that. What does that do? That's better.
Okay.
All right, on my left side every year. Then I've got infections, cold, flus, etc. Major pain for me. Can't breathe through my nose. Difficulty sleeping.
On the left side. So
on the left side.
Same time every year. So I'm guessing it's the change. So it's like you're not adapting to the change well. You're not letting your body go through the changes. So I'm guessing It's going to be winter time with the pollen and stuff and changing. But the left side is spiritually, we've got to allow ourselves to slow down at times and go through change. So as particularly in winter, our bodies want to slow down more, and probably because of your work or your work ethic on yourself, it feels like more of your work ethic than your work itself. It's not breathing in. So generally speaking, guys,
breathing in life.
The nose is not breathing in life. And if it's on the left side, you're not breathing in life, say on a spiritual level. So you're not giving yourself time to slow down and do what you need to do. So I missed some of the other comments about it. What did you say?
So it's on the left side, happens every year, and then it results in infections, colds, flus. Major pain, can't breathe, difficulty sleeping.
So exactly that's the message. The pains, the flus, the infections. This is all you're not giving yourself enough time, and spiritually. So, or because you're a female, it's you giving yourself a hard time to slow down at this time of year, and it may be because of your particular combination of your stars and everything else that this time of year or whenever this time of year that it happens is really when you need to go inwards more spiritually and go inwards and give yourself some more time and tell everyone in the back fuck off.
And for me also, this is one of my things, right? Nose, right? My nose blocks a lot. It seems, and it's a bunch of different things. But one of the other things that came to mind then is also when I'm not grounded. Right. When I'm not grounded because I've reacted to something or whatever, I can find for me that grounding can just unblock my nose. Stopping, slowing down, breathing deep,
following your feelings.
And then just going, hang on, just slow down for a bit. I'm obviously not following my feelings somehow. And just ground, and my nose would just go bing.
So the nose is about breathing in life and enjoying life. And sometimes that's about getting out and doing things more. Sometimes that's actually about more relaxing and doing things. And guys, generally speaking, the left side's going to have issues to do with females. So if you are a female, it's going to generally have more stuff to do with you. If the right side's going to generally have more to do with male, left side is spiritual, right side is material. So these things show on the body on each side to point us in these directions. Okay.
Give the most amazing thing. Do you tell Beck? I'm curious. What do you see? Okay. Mari, been waiting so long to catch you live. My luck. Hey, from South Africa too. Hello. All right. Casey, my energy's been so drained of late. I've been told it's my solar plexus causing it.
Yeah. So this is what we were talking about before, Casey, with the cords. So in particular in the solar plexus, for whatever reason, we plug our cords, energy cords, if you want to call them. They're called, streamers in a certain teaching that I do. So pull all your cords back and return everyone else's. So just imagine unplugging cords or cutting them if you want. Cut all the cords and pull all your energy back and say, I'm going to give to me and I need to give to me and do what I need to do for me. Solar plexus is all about your relationship with you. It's the one-on-one relationship you have with yourself. So if you're not happy with the way you're dealing with things, if you don't speak your truth, if you don't do things your way, this is all going to drain the solar plexus. Simple things to actually strengthen the solar plexus is eat more yellow foods, have more fire, even if it's just candles. Sit there and look at a candle and imagine the yellow flame and yellow fire. We've got our Thursday night meditation. Go and look at one of our meditations. We did one that focuses on the chakras, I think. I can't remember what we labeled it.
I think it was the third one, actually.
Yeah, the third live
anyway,
one.
I've posted a link to our Facebook page. Jump on there, and you'll see some links to either our YouTube site or our online meditation group, where the lives are that we do for our meditations.
Okay, Deborah said totally right. Thank you. Thanks, Deborah.
All right, Deb.
For confirming.
Okay.
Sorry, guys, and if we miss you and we skip, this is intuitive and we go by intuitive. So wherever the energy guides us, that's where we go to. So sometimes if you're getting missed, really listen to the messages of other people, because most of the time, the person that asks the message is the one that needs it the least, I find, in most of my classes. Yeah. The person that asks the message, everyone else gets a bigger message out of it than the person that asked. So,
all right. Sharon. Good morning. Well, good evening, but good morning to you, Sharon. I'd like to know about all over joint issues, especially my fingers, hips, lower back, and muscle weakness, as well as excess weight. Was already having a lot of knee issues. Then I had a bad fall directly onto my left knee.
Okay, so generally speaking, joint issues. So we're talking a lot of flexibility here.
Yeah.
We're also talking about joints that got a lot to do with ligaments. So we've got control issues, we've got flexibility issues, and because if it's in the bones more, we've got resentment issues. Yeah. So those three things. This is all. It feels like it's all totally tied around you being you. You just don't fucking be you. I
feel like I'm being strangled on my left side, particularly just on my left side.
At the moment. You're too much of a taskmaster on yourself, and you've got too many perfections. So I'm guessing you're a bit of a rigid character like I am. So you got to get rid of perfection and got to get rid of being right and start being authentic. So because you've got so many, there's arthritic conditions are usually caused from acid buildup. Most acid buildup is the acidic thoughts or the acidic emotions we have. So not expressing ourselves and everything else. You've got, there's quite a lot there. So that's all I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the ones where we'd have to talk to you guys. Some of these guys, we got it, like we worked with Leanne the other day, and we got through a lot of it, but it's only really at the last, after like 45 minutes or an hour, then we really hit that point.
We hit a light bulb
where
with her.
It hits the light bulb, and that one thing will then actually domino affect all the rest of them. So we really can't delve too deeply in 5 minutes with you guys. So we're just giving you tidbits here.
Jessica, I think it was the bloodshot eye. Yes, that makes sense. I've been feeling a lot of anger towards behavior of a certain male.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the bloodshot. So that's the inflammation, the blood's boiling, the blood, you're getting inflamed about what you're seeing them do. And also remember guys, when you do this, it's what you're seeing them do. That's your judgment. You don't know why they're doing it. It's just that you're involved. You don't want to see it. So pull back. Don't try and change them. Get yourself out of the situation. Look at something else, It's
Ezra, our Australian government stinks. That's what pisses you off, I'm sure.
So shit talkers. Somebody says there. This is obviously the
Annette.
Comment.
Yeah.
Annette. So where do you shit talk yourself? This is where this guys. The things that piss us off. So maybe you shit talk yourself in a way that you don't give yourself. Internally, you put yourself down for your wisdom or something like that. Yeah. We can shit talk ourselves just by playing small. A lot of time, that's shit talking. It's like, so this is where we do this. This is one of our tools, and it's an amazing tool. We call it "If It Animates You, It's in You." But the things that annoy us and piss us off, usually they're things on the outside, like people are doing. People are being, say, violent. But our thoughts might be being violent to our emotions. Our feelings might be violent to our, we're being violent to ourselves inside mentally. And it's like when we stop doing that, and then the issue on the outside, we'll see it, but it no longer bothers us.
Yeah, it doesn't bother you, right?
Yeah.
Or you don't see it all anymore.
Yeah. So, these are, and you've got to be descriptive about how it pisses you off. Like just saying things like, that.
No. The number one thing that pisses Mel off is the teenager.
The teenager. Well, what does the teenager do? This is where. Yeah.
Elaborate.
What
is the teenager? What's your version of the teenager?
What does the teenager do that pisses you off? Or doesn't do? Probably more to the point being a teenager.
Maybe you don't know that.
I'm guessing it's what the teenager doesn't do. I've had a few teenagers myself.
Sheila, the thing that pisses her off the most is moaners.
Moaners. Okay, so are you moaning about moaners?
Are you moaning about moaners?
So are you moaning internally about the things you can't deal with, right? So those people might moan about obvious things on the outside that they shouldn't, but you're moaning about things you can't deal that you can't do anything about. Which is other people moaning.
Feels like feels like you're moaning about things that are
beyond
not in your control.
Yeah. So it's like, there's a classic saying that says, pick your battles, pick your fights. We've got so much information. We've got too many battles going on. Know your strength and pick your battles. If there's something you need to work on that. But picking on people that moan and people that complain and everything else, none of us in this scenario, unless we're, say, up high in the media or something, can really do anything major about that. So you're whinging and complaining about people who are whinging and complaining. And so it's like the moaning is internal for you, and it's external for them. So if you go, okay, am I doing that? So guys, when we do this, don't turn it into another judgment where you beat yourself up again. It's like,
Pamela, are you doctors on spiritual health? I like that.
we're not doctors. No, medical intuitive
Medical
means intuitively reading the messages. What medical means. We are not doctors, and we are not giving any medical
I'm not a
advice.
dentist. You can see my face. I'm not a dentist.
It's like this is intuition and spirituality. This is not medical advice. We're talking about medical conditions, what they mean symbolically. and energetically. And if we look at the symbology and the energetic and we correct it, often it fixes itself. But this is not a replacement for doctors. And this is, so guys, please, don't use us as a replacement to go and see your medical professionals. But you can try this stuff out as well. You know. Okay.
All right, Judy. You asked what pisses me off the most: the ridiculous social restrictions by the government as a reaction to this virus.
So what ridiculous restrictions do you have on yourself, Judy? So ridiculous restrictions is what stands out here.
Yeah.
So you got to go, okay, so what ridiculous restrictions have I got between me and me? Maybe between your head, the filter that lets you say what you want to say, or the ridiculous restrictions you have on diet, or the ridiculous restrictions you have on having to go to work, or the ridiculous restrictions you have on your children, or something like that. If you look at where it is in you, and that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about, guys, using those exact words, I used to drive my car and I go, fucking people at the roundabout, and I'd lose my shit. And I'm like, well, the rules are simple. If they just go, if they follow the simple rules, everything will flow better. And I'm going to go, okay, so what simple rules do I know that if I just did them, everything would flow better? And that's following these tools and teaching these tools. As soon as I agreed to do that, this roundabout issue that I had for 10 years just went away. The next roundabout I got to, it didn't bother me anymore. And I was like, it blew my mind. So, okay, so where are we at now?
Let's go with this one.
Yeah.
Sandy. Hey, Sandy. I have a terrible pain in my lower vertebrae. So it goes well for a few days, and then the severe pain comes up again. I can barely sit or walk.
Okay, so does it cause sciatica? Does it left and right? Excuse me, Sandy, while we go into this. The lower vertebrae, generally, guys, has got to do with you following your feelings. So our inner child and our soul, listening to our feelings or listening to our emotions and following our soul's plan is another way of saying that. This is my upgraded version that I got last weekend. This is a common thing for me. So you get, say, an intuitive hit or a soul hit or a feeling hit. So one of the early ones I got, I'm walking down the road, I'm going, I just want to go and sit on the beach. And it's like, oh, I haven't got enough time. Bang, there's the pain, there's the issue. It's like, I want to do this and I can't because I haven't got enough money.
Navel.
Navel, right? So it's navel chakra area, which is really following the feelings and stuff like that. So every time, if you think about when it happens, think about what you wanted to do, what you're in the background thinking about doing. Oh, I wish I could have the day off, or I wish I could go here or there or whatever. And then you come up with some reason why you can't. And then that puts the pressure on.
I feel like I want to say, I wish I want to eat this food.
Yeah. So, it can be as simple as that. It's like we're not following our feelings. We've got too many regimented ideas, whether it is about diet, whether it is about exercise, whether it's about work,
ridiculous restrictions,
whether it's about communicating. It could be just about saying your own peace of mind. So, and then as you do it, and you'll see it lifts and clears. This lower back one, it blew my mind. This is what's pretty much started me on this journey 20 odd years ago. Was that I had sciatica, I had a motorbike accident. They're going to weld my back together. And I started doing this, and it would go from one moment, sciatica, can't even walk, using a rope to get up off the fucking bed, to running and jumping and somersaulting. And it's really about following the feeling and following your soul's plan. So the inner child, some people will call it that way, but it's really that playful pleasure center as well. The navel chakra is all about pleasure. So it's like some people have too much pleasure, and I'm guessing that's what you see, and that they just focus on pleasure all the time, and that fucks their life up. Yeah. So then you go too much regimented, too much rules and restrictions, and that ends up fucking your life up. So it's like there's got to be a balance between thoughts, feelings, and emotions. between thoughts, words, and actions, between our, doing our mission and being playful and being, wise. So wisdom, power, and love is another 3 words for it.
Julie, our online meditation classes are Thursday nights, 8:30 p.m.
Yes.
In Melbourne, so Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. I posted a link to our Facebook page. I'll post
If you
it
go to
again.
the BQuest page.
You go to our BQuest page, have a look for a group that we've got called Online Meditation Group. Just request to become a member, and you'll get notifications when we go live in that group every Thursday night. Okay?
Yes. So, and we do these readings live, guys. And if anyone wants to come online, at the moment, we did some readings recently, and we're doing them by donation. Our regular price for the 2 of us is $200 for an hour, or $100 for half an hour. But for the moment, we're doing it by donation. So if anyone wants to delve a little bit deper into this,
now would be a good time to get on the session
time
for donations, and it's really what you can afford to part with at the moment. Really, we understand there's a lot of financial pressure going around at the moment.
Sharon Such. What's that one say?
Here we go. Help for my brother, please. Can't find the path or answer to cause. Life-threatening low
platelets
levels. Low platelets levels. Steroids also not effective. Doesn't want to have a splenectomy.
Oh yeah.
Any ideas?
So because it's spleen, we've got it. His spleen and stomach are the earth meridian. So first of all, it needs a lot more earthing, but mainly the spleen and the stomach are affected by overthinking, ruminating. So he's, the way you strengthen it in Chinese medicine, and he's very wise. Like Chinese medicine classes the spleen as a vital organ, not like Western medicine that says it can be removed. It is the yang of the two, and it is quite important on the energy system, as far as the energy system goes. So overthinking will cause that. So even if I don't know, because he's going to energy and that's going to be low.
Yeah.
But just even if he starts drawing or get him to do something that's active, the way we stop overthinking and stop thinking too much, and this also goes for the
lower back.
The lower back issues. Anything in the body where things are dropping, so if you've got sagging skin, prolapsed discs, flat feet, any spleen and stomach issues, overthinking, thinking too much, ruminating is the problem. And so getting active and focused on something. So even if it's like, doing something like Tai Chi, or if it's, just something with your hands and that requires focus that stops you from thinking. So fine motor skills, so drawing, and something that's really concentrated, not something where you can still think while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Something that actually takes concentration and movement, and that will help build it up. But other than that, I'd really have to talk to you and really delve into it, because that's just the basic on the energy level, on the emotional level. But it feels like there's other things there to do with other balances. So, worry about everyone else. That's the main one there. So we'd have to sort of delve into that a bit more, but that's about all I can give you in 5 minutes. Sorry.
Yep. Okay.
So we don't do just general advice, guys. We want to work with your intuition. I mean, it is very general actually, but we don't do just like a reading. I need this. We want to hear how you. Describe
and
what your
also
issue is.
There's a few people that are asking about other people.
Yeah.
Now
Generally,
I'm skipping those. Generally, we don't go through those unless Spirit is going to tell me to flip it back on you.
Yeah.
Right. So generally, we won't.
Last one about the brother was a
very
rare
different one.
I don't normally do that either.
Yeah.
But I got a yes on that.
Yeah.
Because we're not really allowed to ask for other people. That's called interference. Yeah. So.
All right, Sammy. Do lung problems have to do with grief?
Yes.
Indeed.
To put it simply.
Indeed, they do.
But it's also to do with breathing in life. So the grief stops us from breathing in and enjoying life. So unexpressed grief, and the grief can come from when I had my first big one, I back in the day when I was a kid, my real mum died, and I had all this grief that I didn't express because for whatever reason. And then I smoked a lot. The funny stuff, and for about 10 years, from the age of 12, and then
Did you smoke banana leaves?
Yeah, that stuff is mellow yellow, and so when I did this healing, and it was like there was had this energy healing, and it felt like there's fingernails inside my lungs scraping, and this guy was doing the healing, and I was screaming. I'm like, fuck, what's that? He's like, do you want me to stop? I said, no, whatever it is, get it out. And I was like, that was all the grief that I didn't cry and that about my mum. I locked it all inside. So the unexpressed grief. So the grief in the stomach and spleen, it's worry. In the kidneys, and that it's fear. In the liver, it's anger. Favorite one. So if we don't express this, or if we let it build up, and a lot of it's not even ours, we can pick up the grief from it, especially when we're little, from our family and that. We don't know. It's not even. Well, I want to say it's not ours. We make it ours. We pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it wasn't ours originally, and it gets like compounded on top by other people's grief and other people telling us we should be grieving. So like if you stop smoking cigarettes and you just go cold turkey and you watch it, and I've seen this so many times over the years, if the people themselves randomly for about a week or so, they'll have moments where they'll just fucking burst out crying and I don't know what for. This grief is so deep. Yeah. And some of the grief is so deep, it's actually in the soul level, and it's got to do with past lives. Yep. So you don't bite into it when it's coming out, guys. So they go, oh, well, that's why. And then that just compounds it and pushes it back in. Usually when you've got to this point where you can deal with the grief, you've actually dealt with it, say, on a counselling level with yourself mentally, and it's got to come off the body, and so that it doesn't cause cancers and all the rest of the shit. So when it's coming off the body, when the grief is releasing, just watch and go, oh, that's interesting. I'm crying, and my mum fucking died, and this and that. It's like, I'm going, fuck, I just spent 5 years telling you what's going on. And so, but if you watch it and you let it out, 10, 15 years for me, 15 years of grief and anger released in less than 10 minutes. And I was rolling around the cemetery floor laughing my head off. Fuck, I felt like that for 15 years and it's gone in less than 15 minutes. And I was walking on air for the next 2 months after that. So this is, I stumbled across that one by accident back in the day.
All right, let's do this one. I'm feeling it when I'm reading it.
You missed it.
Where are we?
Hang on. Down. There it is.
Here it is here. All right, Angie. I'm reading yours and I'm feeling it. So let's do it, because it's obviously in me as well. Pain under left rib, but not the heart area, under the edge of the left rib cage.
Yeah.
Anything White could be doing there?
So the pain spot is a kidney point. So I'm feeling that there's a kidney point. So the kidneys have got to do with fear, but it's also solar plexus here. So it's also got to do, what's that one, John? I feel like
it's like a stab. It's like I just got stabbed.
Yeah, but that's often the meridian, the kidney meridian point that goes into the rib there, and it will really pull or pinch.
It actually feels like my rib wants to come out. Like it's being twisted.
Yeah, so that's normal for that kidney point. I can't remember which kidney one it is. But this is the fear. This is buying into the fear. And because on the left side, it's fear of yourself, being yourself, or fear of your spiritual direction and stuff like that. And it's also in the solar plexus area.
That makes a lot of sense.
So it's got to do with relating to yourself. So it's how you're dealing with yourself about following your spiritual direction or following whatever it is you need to do. So it could be it could be spiritual direction. It could be creative direction, so it could be art, music, something like that. So for me,
after whatever night that was on the weekend, we had some pretty deep sessions, right? Reflective sessions, and my soul bailed, right? Which is one of my ego character responses. My soul, my consciousness just bails out of the body.
Yeah.
And for about a day, I didn't know who the fuck I was, right? I was walking around just confused as fuck. And so that's my soul slowly come back down, and it's slowly sort of grounding again. But for the past, 24 hours, I've been scared it felt like I've got this fear as to where I'm going spiritually. I guess it's kind of like I don't know what to do. I've been praying a lot on it and meditating a lot on it. I feel kind of still really fucking confused about my spiritual direction right now. And it's, so for me, I just sort of say, okay, this too shall pass like the wind. I accept it as an opportunity to grow. And I try not to buy into it, so when it comes up, I kind of, watch it for a little bit. But definitely that sort of relates for me.
So that's the two are combined. The fear. This one here. Can you read it out, John?
Okay. Stephanie, left toothache. Got better after a new filling initially, but now still not feeling right. Gum feeling a bit soft and boggy.
Yeah. So you can look up the meridians. What was the
teeth meridian? Yeah, look up teeth meridian chart.
Yeah. So if you look up on Google teeth meridian chart, MERIDIAN chart, and you'll see which meridian it relates to. So it's on the left side, so it's going to be female spiritual issues. So, and teeth in general have got to do with like chewing over ideas, mulling over ideas, and you know the whole or the sorry, I'm just getting stuff about mine. Thanks for that.
I'm sitting here rather quiet.
The whole
I love your teeth. I love your teeth. I love your teeth.
You know, so the gum is generally about holding the teeth, and the whole or the refilling is stuff that's like wearing through your resolve. So there's stuff from other people. It might be attitudes. It might be other people's opinions. It might be society's opinions that are eating through your resolve to do things your way. And if you look up the meridian, that will help us. So I'll leave it with that for now. And if you look up the meridian and you come back on next week, we can update it from there and give you a little bit more detail onto what it specifically relates to. But that's a general, very.
All right. Where are we? We're past this.
Okay.
Lots of people asking about other people this week.
Yeah, so guys, we generally don't speak about other people because whenever I do a healing, I've got to get permission from that person. Otherwise, it's interfering with them. And usually, whatever you're looking at in the other person is usually what you need to do. It's usually some reflection at it.
All right.
A lot of the time, it's back off and let them learn their own stuff.
Yeah. Yep. And it can be a message. Just look within.
Yeah.
Stop looking without.
Yeah.
All right, Natasha, can I please have some advice on my right shoulder pain?
Okay, so I got generally, guys, the right shoulder here. We'll do more generalizations.
Yep.
So the throat chakra has got a lot to do with the shoulders, and the shoulders themselves have got to do with flexibility. So shoulders have really got a lot. They've also got a lot to do with the solar plexus. So being flexible and doing things in your daily routine. So if it's right, it's going to be physical daily routines like diet, exercise, brushing your teeth, things like that. If it's left side, it's going to be more to do with being flexible in your spiritual routines or your creative routines. So things like dance, things like meditation, prayer, things like that. So it's about being flexible. And then you've also got to usually see which person it relates to. So you're not communicating with yourself about what you need to do on a daily basis or weekly basis, your regular routines, and the communication problem in the throat. So if it's on your left side, it's going to be there's going to be females there you're the female, so it could be you just blocking the communication with yourself, but usually it relates to other females around you who have an influence on you, mothers, bosses, daughters, whatever else, and vice versa if it's on the right side. So that's just very general because we didn't get much detail there. So that's all we can do on those ones.
All right. Annette, I got it. I'm going to read it out. The throat, the dry. So you've been having a dry throat and your voice has been cutting out. You're an ex-smoker 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Firstly, I don't feel as though it's related to the smoking.
No, it's not.
At all.
At all.
Which is probably why I wanted to ignore it earlier.
dry throat and your voice cutting out. Voice cutting out is generally... we either feel like we're not being heard, or we've got to shut the fuck up,
or we've got to be quiet.
And the dry throat or the dry lips, the parched mouth. This is feeling like you can't impart your wisdom, but with the loss of voice, it means you're probably not supposed to.
Yeah,
you're supposed to impart it on yourself and let whoever it is you're trying to share your wisdom with and share your impression, no matter how true it is, just shut up and let them. They need to learn their lesson. And often if we don't say it out loud, often if we keep it inside and we say it and there's a saying in the Bible, I am my brother's keeper. What that basically means is we're supposed to see the other person, our brother or whatever, as perfect, as divine, as divinely guided, if you want to. So the wisdom that you're trying to impart verbally or that you're not imparting on yourself verbally, one of the two.
Yeah.
If you do it opposite and go, okay, so I'm guessing this is with your boyfriend, because that picture is with your boyfriend just standing out like
totally. Same for me too, right?
I'm
just like, do I bring that up, Spirit? And they're like, no, just wait. I'm like, all right,
stop telling him what to do.
Stop telling him what to do,
right?
Basically.
And then imagine his guides or angels or his higher self, whatever you want to call it. Imagine his soul telling him what you want to tell him.
Yeah.
And see him hearing that and see him getting that without you saying anything, and back off. And then also ask, where does whatever the advice you want to give to him apply to you?
Yeah.
The same advice will apply to you, but not necessarily in the same area.
Yeah.
You might be telling him to calm down or whatever, and that might be outside. He might be freaking hyperactive or whatever, but you need to calm down inside. Yeah. And so listen to the advice that you want to give, but the loss of the voice is your soul, is your inner being saying, don't say it.
So there's another part that Spirit wants me to bring up, which is the smoking part. So it feels like you've created this filter or this belief that dry throat and the voice cutting out is from smoking, right? Yeah. So I think what they're trying to say is, if you can just start to unlock that a little bit, you might then start to see what we just explained to you. So how do they do that?
So one of the things we say, we've got to make this genuine. If you don't believe what we're saying, it's not going to work. So you've got to get to a point to make it believe. So what if that crazy shit they're saying is true, right? Yeah. And if it was true, I wonder if I could apply it. You got to use words like what if, wonder.
What if? Okay,
what if that's really?
What if it's not smoking? Yeah. Right. What if it's got nothing to do with smoking?
Yeah.
Right. What if it is actually that I'm not supposed to be saying the things that I'm saying?
What if it is my inner being or my soul telling me not to speak it out loud?
Yeah.
It's not telling me what it's saying it's not being effective by speaking it out loud. You're wasting your voice, and you're actually making the other person's run away from it. None of us like being told what to do, especially anyone that's on this show. And it's like you're going to do the opposite, even if it's good advice.
Yeah, and because if when we have a filter there, like this is because I've smoked.
Yeah.
Right. Then you miss the message. Right.
And this is a big point John's bringing up here. And I've made this mistake many times. If you're working on it symbolically, so if you're working on the emotional, mental, spiritual aspect of it, which is what we're doing here, and then you go back to the physical, you can actually really compound the problem.
Yeah.
You start getting through it on the. So you got the physical dimension, you got the emotional dimension, you got the mental dimension, you got the spiritual dimension. If it's a spiritual issue, a soul issue, let's say. And you start working on that, and then you go back, you actually can really compound the problem. Then you got to start this build up again. So just sometimes you've got to stay on it a bit longer if it is energetic, if it is spiritual, and just go, so what if it is that? And I wonder if I can actually listen to that message. Yeah. I wonder. So use these words that make it real. And also, don't believe it outright, because if you just go from disbelieving it like it's something physical to trying to believe what we're saying, that doesn't work at all. And it's just you're just neutralizing one with the other.
And whether this is feel for someone else that can relate to this at the moment, I smoke, right? And there's other people that have commented about smoking on there. For me, smoking is that time where I go away from whatever it is that's pissing me off at times, and that's when I don't talk, right? And I'm going inside. So if you're an ex-smoker, maybe that was what you used to do with smoking, right? You'd move away from a situation so that you didn't speak out, whatever, right? And so it kind of feels like, okay, maybe try and find something else when you can start to see that you're doing this, and you go, okay, I'm about to say something I probably shouldn't say. Maybe just go for a walk, go get a drink of water, to do something else as an activity.
And Young, that one about the dentist, that's a bit too in depth. We can't go into that in this short period. So that's one you'd have to get a sort of a longer reading or anything. So this one.
What else?
Okay, Mel.
Hey, Annabelle.
Go Mel Jane there.
Mel Jane. Hey, Mel. All right. Have had stomach digestion issues for years, and it's getting worse. Any insights?
Yes, one of my other favorite ones.
Look at you.
Stomach and digestion issues, and this is like, so reflux used to be one of my favorites. Still working on that one, as you may have heard a few times tonight in the burpee. But digestion issues is literally most of the time, for anyone who's at this level, who's listening to shows like this, you're not digesting the thoughts and feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
So we'll have a thought or a feeling, and then we either don't want to digest it or we don't let ourselves digest it. So it's more actually digesting the thoughts and feelings. And so then for me, the reflux will come back up when I get an intuitive hit, so to speak, and I don't want to actually acknowledge it. It might be about my kids or it might be about someone else. I don't want to digest, or often about myself, I should say.
Try and throw that one off.
And so it's like, you get an intuitive hit. Oh, I need to do this. I need to stop that. I need to move away from these people that I've been sort of hanging around too much who are not helping me. And it's like, and we don't want to digest that information. It's the information we don't want to digest, and that causes it. And it comes through really fleeting. So that a lot of these things will come through in what we call in the background, in the subconscious, and it'll come through really quickly while we're doing something else. And then it's usually just after a raid or something. So then we go to the food. I mean, if it is particularly digestive issues, a bit of apple cider vinegar is going to fix the reflux, and some pH balance is going to really fix that up really quickly. But I don't think it is that. I think it's really got to do with the digestive issues. Is not digesting the thought, your ideas and your emotions and stuff like that. So you've got to really start going, okay, what if I could digest this more? Yeah. Or slow the digestion down. Okay, one of the things I say, okay, I am, whatever that information was, and you don't have to know what the information is half the time. You go, whatever that information was that I didn't want to digest, I'm starting to digest it more and more. Yeah, and I'll get the message and I'll let the message come up.
I say I'll agree. I agree to work with it more. You know? I'll start digesting it more, and I'll agree to work with it more, even though I can't understand it right now. I'm clearly there's something there that I don't want to digest.
And that applies to all these things we're saying, guys. This shoulder pain. Okay, if there's a message here from my soul, I agree to start listening to it, even though I can't work, even though I can't interpret it right now. Thank you, soul, or thank you, inner being, for this message. And I'm going to listen more and more over the next couple of days and try and work out what the message is. And that can have a massive difference instantly on the effect.
And that does so many things, A, it starts to open you up to the possibility that your body's talking to you and your soul's talking to you. B, you start talking to your body. You actually build a relationship with your body, And C, when you start to realize that sometimes all you need to say is thank you for that message, body. Yeah. What's the message? Yeah. And the pain will go away.
Sometimes the message
that blows your fucking mind.
Like a lot of the times,
and it builds belief.
A lot of the times, the message is way beyond the intellect. Our intellect only go like far. Knowing our inner being can understand vastly more, supremely more than our intellect can. So sometimes we just got to go, thank you for that message. And I got it, and I got no fucking idea what it was. But thank you for that message. Yeah. And it's like, and that will cause. It's like, and the more you do that, and then sometimes we pick up the message on the subconscious or the intuitive level, and it'll just play out, and things will start to change over the next days.
So I felt someone asked a question then, like, what does that do when you say thank you for the message? It can be an energetic thing, right? It is an energetic thing, right? So by saying thank you for the message. Yeah. You're saying thank you to the energetic part of it, right? And
add if you got to make it genuine, guys. You got to believe that you can't utter these. It's like prayers. If you just pray over and over again, you might as well be fucking saying rock and roll is king. It's like it's just useless words. But you've got to make it genuine. So if that was a message, thank you for the message, even though I can't quite interpret it, and I'll listen more and more, and I'll let myself and find out more and more. If that was this, thank you. And you got to have the questioning, you got to have the gratitude, and you got to start building the belief. And it's got to be genuine.
Kristen, I'm curious as to what you mean by it went weird. What weird? Describe weird.
So sometimes I think what Kristen's referring to, sometimes when we tap in, especially when we hit this soul level, this is talking to the inner being, to the soul, and to the higher self, if you want to do that. Sometimes, especially when we connect that soul and that higher self inside, things can get really weird. It's like talking to there's three different aspects that you can really, we're just one, but there's three aspects that you can really quite define at times and almost talk to like three different selves, even though they're not different. They're three aspects of the one self, but they really feel like different different people sometimes inside ourselves. So, but yeah, guys, just make it genuine. So you don't have to make it genuine by straight away believing it. You have to make it genuine by building the belief, working with it, and changing your words.
Whoa. Here we go.
Okay.
Spirit. All right. This isn't the hypnosis part that I'm going to talk about or point out. Is can one get the brain to work in a manner to overcome weight loss by hypnotizing yourself? The weight part.
Yeah. So yes and no. Well, you can do it by hypnosis, but then you're giving away the power.
Or is it just a control thing?
There is. You can do the same thing more consciously. So you can get rid of filters. So you can take the message. Weight loss. This is a message again. So a lot of people I've worked with on the weight loss, particularly the bigger when it's the women that are bigger, and a few of the men that are bigger like that, they haven't got enough space. They haven't got enough space around them. Everyone's bombarding them with all their issues, and the weight is actually the body inside the subconscious mind. And this is where you talk about the hypnosis. Subconscious mind is I haven't got enough space. I haven't got enough space, or I haven't got enough time, and then but the body picks up I haven't got enough. So then it holds onto everything.
Yeah.
And it makes the body bigger to try and give the person some more space. I haven't got enough me time. I haven't got enough anything. I haven't got enough is what the subconscious picks up. And it's like, and so you can start changing that. This is the kind of self-hypnosis, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
You can say, I'm getting more and more time. I'm getting more and more space. I'm going to give myself more space. I'm going to push my fucking boundaries back and push these people back and give myself more space. Or the flip side is it's just the word weight. This is my daughter's one.
Yeah.
The other day, she'll fluctuate with this.
Which I think is what resonates here, because Andrew just said, I haven't found my path. I've done it before. Why not now?
So it's like the weight is telling you to wait.
Yeah.
So often this is the opposite message from the same thing. So the weight is the body and the soul going, stop, just stop, wait, it's not time yet. Work. And when I say wait, it doesn't mean wait and do nothing. It means wait and work inwardly, work inwards, wait on the outside, wait and just, it's not time. You are finding your path. The fact that you're on the show means you've found your path. But, for me, the depth of this, the so-called dark night of the soul or whatever, for the average person goes for 5 to 8 years. Mine went for freaking 20 years after I had this stuff. And I was like, fucking, thank you, bro. That's just been mind-boggling for me lately to see that. I was like, fucking, I thought I did so many things, was doing them wrong and everything else. But because I had a bigger mission, so to speak, I had a longer period of that. So this is like with my daughter, she was like looking for friends and going out because she just turned 19. The lockdown's been driving mental. And it's just like, the message from her body was just wait. It's coming. It's happening. Wait. But while you're waiting, go internal. Work on the internal. Start looking at your emotions. Start looking at your thoughts, which is what you're doing. You're talking about hypnosis, self-hypnosis. So you have found your fucking path. So stop saying you haven't.
Yeah.
What you're saying is your path's not steamrolling ahead.
But I want it now.
It's like
it's got to happen right now.
It's like it's a big path, so it's going to take you a while to learn. Some people can get on their path and 3 months into it, they learn it and they're on their way, but their path's not as big as yours. So maybe you got to look at that it's your path's quite big, so it's going to take a lot longer to get through the basics. Okay, but those things with the weight, guys, this is the body, and also if it's weight around the belly, like bloating type weight, again, this is not following your feelings. You can stand up in front of the mirror in the bathroom in the morning like I do sometimes, when my soul or my inner child's trying to speak. And I imagine myself running down the beach, and because I love doing backflips and somersaults, I imagine running, like just literally fully consciously imagine myself running and doing it. And I'll watch my belly just go, and it's like, or going out riding my motorbike, maybe a bit excessively fast, but things like that. This is where the energy blocks, especially if it's around the belly area. This is about following your feelings and being playful and stuff like that.
Judge yourself. Judge yourself, Ange. Judge yourself. Wake up, Ange. Judge yourself. It's like backhand yourself. That wasn't the point, Ange.
So she's saying she doesn't have much space happening because she's looking after her dad. That's what the body's trying to tell you. So you've got to say, look, I haven't got much space now, but I'm going to get it soon. And I'm going to slowly give myself more and more. This is a gradual thing because you've been doing this for so long. You said for the past 3 years. Yeah. So now you've got to start. That's what we call the freight train. You've got to slow this down and slowly turn it around, or the big ocean liner. Right?
Gratitude is the other thing that Spirit's telling me to say.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to start giving myself some more space. I'm going to give myself some more space, and I'm going to start doing that bit by bit. I'm not going to just go and fucking throw everything out and fucking lose my shit like JD used to do, and just throw it all out and fucking start again. It's like, it's a really powerful lesson to learn to slow the momentum down of these things and do them a little bit by bit. So, okay. All right. So we're just reading some of the messages here, guys. Okay. All right, so we've got 5 minutes left. We'll do one more. And guys, as I said before, we've got our Thursday night live meditation.
Yep.
We've got all of these are on our YouTube page and our BeQuest Wellbeing website. And we've got we've got 100 of these live. So if you want to go back through some of them, plus all the meditations are on there.
Yep.
And we'll be doing anyone in Melbourne, we're doing the meditations here. You can
if you're interested,
face to face,
request to become a member of the online group. Yeah. Drop us a message if you're in Melbourne, and we can line it up.
And we are doing these readings at the moment by donation. I say we normally charge $200 for an hour for the two of us, and $100 for half an hour. But we understand that these times are trying for people, so we say whatever your donation is, think about that, because if you don't give equally to what you want to receive, for one person, $20 is the same as another person's $2,000.
Yeah.
So it's not about the money. It's about actually opening up to receiving. If you don't sort of feel like, a lot of people won't receive unless they sort of put something in.
Yes.
So we'll just cover, one more now. All right.
Very trying.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Okay.
Anyone got a last one?
I
think the quality's a bit on and off tonight.
Okay. Yeah, so we've had that with this video in this new house, so we will work on that one, guys, with the quality of it. Someone mentioned bunions and stuff before, which I'll just cover that one quickly.
We'd love that, Shano.
So the bunions and the flat feet, they're mainly caused by the same thing, because they're on the feet or the hands. Most issues on the feet or the hands have got to do with base chakra. So this is group issues, and it's like you're letting a lot of emotions that build up on that base level. So it's like, and as particularly things like worry and overthinking will cause that to build up over time. So it's the worry affects the stomach and spleen, which allows the weight to push things down. So the bunions that will cause the bunions as well, and just issues with group chat. So it could be family issues, could be government issues. Could be males are the biggest group, or females are the biggest group. So one group can be all the men in the world or all the women in the world. It could be a whole country as a group. But it can be right down to your siblings are a group.
Yeah.
Or, the school
work
teachers.
Colleagues.
Yeah, or the work colleagues. So any of the base chakra issues, guys, we've got to get to forgiveness. And so when I say forgiveness, it always sounds big and scary, but forgiveness just means letting go and letting other people do what they do, and getting rid of our negative emotions like resentment, guilt, any of those things. So, and that takes a little bit of time and practice. That takes a bit of repetition. So,
Shannara, what if that fear of flying is actually your intuition telling you that it's going to be okay?
Yeah.
Have a think about that one.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We'll catch you
very much
on Thursday or next week. Thank you.
See you later. Bye.